Ebola? Ebola was probably one of the biggest jokes of 2014. People would make jokes about this disease.
Not okay!
So what is Ebola? Ebola is pretty much a severe infectious, often fatal disease. The common name for Ebola is the hemorrhagic fever. Kevin, hey, how do you pronounce this? Ebola, which is the common name for Ebola hemorrhagic fever, is a rare but deadly virus that causes bleeding inside and outside the body. It's an aggressive pathogen that causes a highly lethal hemorrhagic fever syndrome in both humans and non-human primates. Ebola is a member of the Filaridae virus family, which is a highly lethal viral pathogen. Now, like all viruses in this family, Ebola can only be spread through person-to-person transmission. Ebola originated from 5 locations: Thai Forest, Sudan, Zaire, Bundibugyo, and Reston. Ebola Reston is the only known filovirus that does not cause severe disease in humans. Though these Ebola viruses have caused outbreaks in humans and non-human primates, the natural host of the pathogen is unknown. Ebola isn't as contagious as more common viruses, such as colds or maybe the measles. Transmission involves close personal contact between an infected individual or their body fluids with another person. That stuff spreads, man. It spreads to people by contact with the skin or bodily fluids of an infected animal, such as monkeys, chimps, fruit bats, pigs. When an infection occurs in humans, the virus can be spread through the following. Once the virus enters the body, it targets several types of immune cells that represent the first line of defense against invasion, then continues to infect dendritic cells. Ebola in this case against the pathogens, the first line of defense would be to protect your skin. Think of your skin as more of a barrier, and it protects and keeps the pathogens out. Symptoms of the pathogens against the first line of defense include fever, headache, and muscle aches. They also include sore throat and sudden increase in body temperature.
It's a little warm in here.
Second line of defense being as it attacks nearly every organ and tissue in the body, sparing bone and skeletal muscle. Once the virus has settled in, it slowly converts the body's collagen to mush and liquefy the under layers of skin. The process of this is the virus begins to slow down the immune system, killing off the body's T lymphocyte cells. It then begins tearing through several types of immune cells. The virus produces several proteins, one of which blocks immune cells from signaling antibodies to attack. The virus then begins replicating. Dendritic cells normally display signals of an infection on their surfaces to activate T lymphocytes, the white blood cells that could destroy other infected cells before the virus replicates further. After the first line of defense, the symptoms start becoming more severe, such as the ones listed in this picture, which all in all, if the case is not being treated and the patient is not receiving medical attention, the result would be death. The incubation period is 2 to 21 days. Lymphocytes don't become infected with Ebola, but it just lacks stimulation and then prevents primary immune cells from putting up a fight. With defective dendritic cells failing to give the right signal, the T cells don't respond to infection, and neither do the antibodies that depend on them for activation. The virus can start replicating immediately and very quickly. There's no cure for Ebola, though researchers are working on it. Treatment includes an experimental serum that destroys infected cells. Doctors have managed the symptoms of Ebola with fluids and electrolytes, oxygen, blood pressure medication, blood transfusions, and treatment for other infections. Experimental vaccines and treatments for Ebola are under development, but they have not been fully tested for safety or effectiveness. Is it possible for people to be immune to Ebola? Think about it like this. People who can be immune to this is possibly from mutations. People who survived the Black Death and were immune to this infection during the time period could have been mutated and genetically protected from the disease. People who have developed immunity can be a great help in the outbreak of Ebola. Their blood plasma is full of protective antibodies that can be injected into patients of Ebola. And that concludes an episode of Crash Horse. I'm Kerry, and I am out. You got anything to say, Kevin? Terrific. Alright, play the outro and list all the sources. Alright, bye!